Thanks for having me back.
Glad to have you back, Dan. Want to thank you for coming back. We appreciate you. Last week you were here. You talked a little bit about points and arranging the people that sign up, things of that nature. You talked about the numismatic coin, how is the breakdown of the pricing. You talked about the spot pricing of a regular coin, how that comes to be. So today you're back with us, and we want to hear about insurance. I know that's one of Ray's big thing. And Dan, of course, may have some additional questions too, regarding the breakdown of points of putting people in. So we want to answer those as well. But we thought we would start with the insurance. Ray, did you have any specific questions to start off with?
Well, I mean, I think there's two major, when I deal with my clients, we've been talking about safe and sound money. So the safe money, I do a lot in annuities in retirement, give them guaranteed income for life, things like that. But then I tell them, I'll say, look, I haven't done the full comprehensive job for you. And they'll be like, what do you mean? You're really happy. I'm like, well, it's because, we haven't insured, taken a little bit to insure the rest of your portfolio and giving you currency insurance. So I've been just starting that concept now. I'm working with some people on it. And I spoke at our insurance association about it, which Dan was on. He did a real good job of really helping behind the scenes with it. And Steve too, with the video. And now what I run into a lot is, and I've been telling Steve this for like quite a while, is the majority of people have a bunch of money in IRAs and 401ks, and that's where most of their money's set aside. And so a lot of them are now coming to me and said, well, tell me more about the self-directed IRAs, whether it's Roth, traditional, and, how do we do this, and why do I go through 7K to do this specifically? Because we know that 7K, it's a loss leader. There's no money per se made for 7K. It's part of our value added membership. So that, along with the health side, because I also have healthcare providers on my team that do, Medicare and then pre-65, and they do all that stuff. And the bottom line is if we can implement something like this into this, now all of a sudden we've sort of cross-sold the healthcare industry, the people on there. I don't do anything with it. I refer them out to all my guys on that. Dan knows a lot of them as well. So those are the big things. But I would say probably IRA and then the insurance are the things that we haven't had too many discussions in regards to outside. I have seen somebody speak from New Direction. I believe it's New Direction or New Direction IRA. And he spoke, and it was quite a while ago. But, they're just a middleman. I understand. But I want to see how you're positioning it and just sort of get all the tips we can here from you in regards to both of those topics.
All right. You want me to talk now? All right, let's try to hit these. I think I caught the questions in there. Okay, so gold-backed IRA, why 7K? The thing you have to understand is that New Direction Trust Company, NDTCO, is your custodian, your IRA custodian. They're the people that talk to the government and give an update on your IRA account. Why you need 7K is because you need a place to purchase the metals that get stored in a depository. So you have to select your depository, and you have to select your precious metals dealer, and then you have to go through the process of getting the metals from the dealer to the depository. Now, you can buy directly from the depository. Okay, follow me on this. And they will then hold your precious metals. So it's kind of like buying eggs from the fox in the hen house. All right. If you buy from 7K, you get a receipt. If you ship it to the depository, they have to sign for a receipt. So buying from the depository, it's buy it here, hand it over here in the same building. If you buy it from 7K at the best price and have it shipped to the depository, now you've got a documented chain of custody.
Okay. That's good.
All right. That's the strategy behind why I did the way I did it. Your other strategy is to make sure that you're very specific when you're buying your precious metals from 7K. you want to say, I want 100 Gold Eagles 2022. And the reason for that is you may be purchasing a very specific year. Like I think everybody understands that if you were holding 100 1999 Silver Eagles right now, you'd be a very happy person. Do you know why?
No.
Everybody
High
should.
value.
Go ahead, Dan. Tell me.
High value right before the year 2000.
What's that?
It's high value increase in price right before the year 2000.
Do you know why that price went up?
Y2K.
No.
Well, limited minting.
There you go. 1999 was a low mintage year. They could not get enough silver to print 1999 Silver Eagles. So they're worth, $15,000 to $20,000 each. All right. So that's why you want to be very specific when you're ordering your precious metals to sit in your IRA. What are the chances of a 2021 first half of the year or second half of the year being high value? Well, it's pretty high because there was low mintage in 2021 due to the stamp of the mint stamp changed in June. They went from a type 1 to a type 2. So if you got type 1s or you have type 2s for 2021, chances are in the future that might be a high value coin. All right. So there's a little tip on why 7K and why the gold backed IRA. And be clear that NDTCO is your custodian. Right now, you might have Wells Fargo, you might have Vanguard, Fidelity. They're currently your custodian in your stock-based IRA. Well, NDTCO is just your custodian for your gold-backed IRA. So you treat them the same as you would any other IRA custodian. And then the other thing I wanted to share with you, and I'm going to screen share here if Steve will let me.
Yeah, sure will.
Not all custodians will take
Right.
precious metals and other things other than stocks.
That's correct. They will not.
Specialized custodian to
Right.
willing and able to accept that.
Yep. And it's just paperwork, and they're specializing in that paperwork.
Hey, Ben,
Yeah.
how about when we're looking at other custodians and some of the competition that's real heavy out there? And they say, I'm going to XYZ as opposed to going through New Direction and 7K. Do you have any comeback on that?
It absolutely does not matter. There's no benefit to using NDTCO. The only benefit, and there's no benefit from buying from 7K to back your gold and silver backed IRA. You have to do your due diligence on that day and know that you're buying it from a trusted source and you're getting a good price. But be
Looked
sure
at
to,
one, and they required or requested a minimum of $10,000 to start with. So 7K and then the GTC, whatever it is,
New Direction Trust Company.
and they may not have a minimum start. I don't
Right.
know if you know that you can just start with 1 or 2 coins or a certain dollar amount.
Yeah, I know that they I think the lowest amount I've helped anybody move over was about $7,000. I mean, people just, if you've got an IRA, you probably have a little bit of a significant amount in it. Okay, so here is 7K Health. Okay, let me know when you can see that screen.
I see it.
Okay.
All right, so 7K Health is the standard website that we sell the insurance through, or we refer through. And the rates are right here under the rates page, and the brochures are right here. So when you're talking to somebody, the way you get to this point is you go into, and let me just take this off for a second so I can get to that page, and then I will show you 7K. Okay, do you see this? You are in our 7K back office. We're under my account links. and you have health plan and group plans. You will see there's a button right here. In the lower left-hand corner of this screen, can you see that number? Okay, so what that is that's your referral number, and you'll notice that it's different. On this one, it's 7K Health Group, and on this one, it is 7khealth.com. So that's two different URLs that you can send somebody to that will tag your account as making that referral. So
Okay.
that's the link that you need is behind these two buttons, all right? You need to grab those URLs to set up whatever website you're going to set up to refer people over to the 7K Health plan. So this is 7K Health, and then this one is the 7K group. So you see the websites are totally different looking. And that's because they have, different plans for the group versus the individual and family. All right. So those two buttons take you to two different sites. And that's how you get to it, is through your back office. And technically that's as far as I take it, because I'm a referring agent. I don't go over the rates. I don't go over the brochures, because that's what the licensed insurance agent does. And we are not licensed, at least most of us. I ran into somebody yesterday that was insured, and it's like, hey, that's great. You're the unicorn in the group. So, and that's good. We need people that are licensed to help us understand, the terminologies that we're using, and that we use the right wording when we even say that we're a referring agent. But most people aren't licensed, and so they would just enroll right here in the enroll now step. And I think the guy's name is Larry for the business side that'll take care of them, and then they'll go through the call center on the other side. And be clear, the expectations should be fairly average, because the people on the other side of this line are just getting up to speed on what their jobs are with this as well. So this is not a long in the tooth operation, but they are picking up steam very quickly. Any questions?
Are these 7K employees, or are they through
No.
FNA or? Okay.
SNA is a company that's managed through the tribal association. I don't want to quote what tribe it is because I don't know. But that is hang on, let me see if I can find that real quick. I'm on the About Us page for them. Yeah. So they're not even disclosing that on the About Us page. Because they don't want it to be a deterrent, right? I mean, a good company is a good company. Doesn't matter where they're working out of.
Ben, the biggest, I ran it by my healthcare guy, and this was like, I don't know, maybe 3 months ago. And I don't know if there's been any updates or whatnot. And he said he looked at it. He goes, obviously the low deductible, low cost, everything is one thing, but the benefits are very low in regards to the out of pocket and max and all that. So I was wondering what feedback you can give on that, or if that's an area you go sort of deep into.
For a lot of people, they don't have any insurance at all.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'll tell you straight up that I have some pre-existing conditions. It is zero coverage the first year, half coverage the second year, full coverage the third year.
With
You're
this
talking-
program or with something else that you have?
What's that?
With this program or with something else that you have?
No, with this program, that's what it would be.
Okay.
Or just the pre-existing condition. Like, you're still covered with the rest of the stuff, but your pre-existing condition is 050 full.
That sounds very similar to the life insurance that we have for guaranteed issue. 050, I have 050 in full pretty much.
Right.
So I'm not too familiar with that on the health side. So basically, what do you do? Do you have something else that you're doing for year 1 and 2 and whatnot?
Yeah, cash out of pocket. But you
Wow.
got to get started somewhere, some way, you know?
Right? Okay. And
And
what
this-
happened?
And this only covers you up to 65. Then they expect you to jump onto Medicare.
Right, that's fine. But the thing is what about, okay, at beginning year 3, can you tell me about your benefits at beginning of year 3? When you're at 100%?
I'm not understanding the question.
You're out of pocket, your deductibles, like, can you tell me everything about your plan going in, once you're at full coverage?
Okay, so I'll take notes on this one.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm just a referring agent. Please make a phone call to the company and their licensed agents will walk you through all of that.
Okay. Okay,
That
well,
is the response that you give.
hopefully they go a little more detail with your own personal one. I have a lot on the line there. No,
Yeah.
I agree. That's a great, obviously, we're not healthcare people. We're not going to do that. I was just wondering about you personally.
So
Yeah.
do
I've looked into it and I'm comfortable with their explanation of what happens at that time. It'll be like an 80-20.
Is it the same for everybody? Is it just one plan or are there various options once you get?
There are quite a few supplementals that you can add to the plan. So it's like a basic plan and then supplementals.
So is there a key person that we can discuss the plan with that they have in place? I mean, is there?
7K Health, go ahead and click on the.
Okay, so we just go there and get that.
make
Okay,
that phone call.
Got
Yep.
okay. All right.
Now you would be smart to click on your own referral link when you ask that question,
Yeah.
because you can refer yourself for the points.
Okay.
Ben, one last question in regards to when you say 80-20 though, what's your max? What's your max?
Again, I haven't gotten into all that yet, so I can't answer that question.
Okay.
I'm not on the plan yet. I have only investigated what it would be when I get on the plan.
Oh, I'm sorry. My bad.
But I did ask those questions, because I'm curious to, how does that pre-existing play out? So the 0-50 full was the objective of what I was asking questions about.
What we're going to do is I'm going to compare it out to MediShare, and because I work with the largest church insurer pretty much here in the Midwest, and the largest in Ohio and largest in Arizona right now. And what I want to do is I want to bring people into 7K, and I want to use this healthcare as part of the piece, as a pivot piece. But I also have to compare it out to things like MediShare, Samaritan's Purse, things like that are more Christian and faith-based co-ops.
Yep.
And that's not my game either. So I have to run it by my healthcare guys and see, because I want to put 7K, but we have to always do the right thing by the clients. So we're going to put it side by side. You know what I mean? Because
Due diligence.
it'll work for everybody. Yeah.
Yep. Go ahead and go over to the 7K Health, click on the brochure and the rates. The brochure is going to tell you what what's included, and the rates are going to tell you per age bracket what the costs would be.
Sounds good.
And again, I have no problem providing navigation. That's what a referring agent does.
Yeah.
Right.
But I won't tell you what's included. I won't tell you what the costs are, because that's what a licensed agent does.
Makes
So
sense.
remember, keep it to navigation and you'll keep yourself out of trouble.
That's right. I agree. Steve, for your benefit, because a lot of people under 65, anybody in that range that's not covered through their work or they have personal, this is at least a great conversation piece to start, even if the metals isn't the lead on it, or maybe it's something in the back end even.
Yeah. I was thinking about that. And I'll have to think that out. Maybe.
Well, like the 7K Advantage, you got people that eat out a lot. You got people that travel a lot. I mean, the savings they could get out of the 7K Advantage would pay for the membership.
Do you do a lot, getting back to the race side, Ben, have you done a lot of, been the middle guy in regards to the self-directed IRAs? Has that been a lead for you or a back end? How have you sort of positioned it?
I guess I just tell people that, my biggest pitch on that is those of us with any age under our belt, we've seen a couple of dips, a couple of humps in the stock market, 401k over the years. Imagine if we'd have got in at a dip and got out at a peak, rode the dip in a gold-backed IRA, shifted it back at a peak and rode it again. Think about how many of those peaks we would have accumulated throughout our career, as opposed to watching the roller coaster ride, right? So if you ride the dip to a peak in the stock market and you see that peak starting to dip, take those profits, move them over into a gold-backed IRA, let that dip happen again, move it back into the stock market, because you can go back and forth between IRAs with no fees, no penalties. We just weren't taught in high school when to move our money into precious metals when the stock market was taking a nosedive.
That's right.
Because it doesn't happen overnight, and it only takes a couple of days to move those assets. But you know, the wealthy have people that are, their job is to sit there and wait for that dip to occur or the swing to occur and move those assets from one to another.
Yep.
Right? I mean, it makes us sick to think about the wealth we would have had we not ridden that roller coaster back down that incredible ride to the bottom of that dip. We think of that as an amusement ride. It's like, oh, this is fun. It's like, no, it's not.
Yeah, you know, Ben, I spoke for our National Association of Insurance Advisors about 3 weeks ago. And one of the things I mentioned to them, and we were introducing for, you know, because the inflation, the pandemic and everything, inflation, all the issues that are dealing with crisis right now,
Yep.
how to build a financial arc. And one of the things, the statistics that we brought up was when we're talking about wealth accumulation, you know, is that a lot of the advisors aren't telling people, letting people know that from 2001 to 2021, what happened was the S&P 500 was up 269% total, and silver was up 517%, and gold 579. So basically, if you took their average, they doubled the S&P during deflationary, low inflationary times. So what did they, and that was not even counting in this past year. So, what do you think is going to happen in the next 20 years? I told them, you know? So yeah, it's a great IRAs.
We're looking at least a decade of contraction.
Yeah, we're ending a cycle
And
right now.
gold's on the rise.
That's right.
So
And we also-
right now is the ideal time
Mhm.
to make some financial decisions. I didn't tell you what to do, did I?
That's right. That's good. We saw what nickel did the couple weeks ago, went up 78% in 1 week because of this Ukraine crisis, you know?
Yep.
So look what's happening. It's sort of backfiring on us in regards to these sanctions. So it's definitely everything that we need from them is going to be flying up, and they don't expect that much from us. So yeah, this is good stuff.
There you go.
Good stuff. How has your business been moving? Like, what is there any particular niches that you're in right now?
I'm just in home-based business right now, and I got quite a few calls coming in for that. So, but I did have one just call me just right before this call about the healthcare. Definitely interested in being a referring agent, so that's working as well. But I put it out there, right? I put it out there as my advertisement. Are you looking to help people find health insurance? And so the people in that industry are starting to call now.
Yeah.
Again, you got to play
That's
with.
great. Dan, did you get your?
I was going to say, you got to be playing with that.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
You got to be playing with advertisements.
Dan, did you get your questions answered in regards to the placements and all that?
Nothing more than what we talked about last week. So we'll just follow up, and I've been swamped this last week with some other projects, so I haven't gotten back to that issue.
One question, Ben, remember we were talking about before they got on about the insurance that had the smaller premium amount that you said they really didn't have any points to. Now, is that, I can find that information on that in that link too as well?
No, I'm going to the frequently asked questions. Let me see if I can. See if they got any in here. Got one question. Yeah, they're just pointing people to 7K Health. So I would just say call the company, see if they've made any decisions on whether or not they're going to be offering points for the $40 plan. I expect they're not. I mean, if they did, they could offer like 1 point because there's just no margin in that for them. That's another lost leader. And I'm hearing people getting varied answers on the individual and family versus the business. But I assume that one's going to be 10 and maybe the other one might be 10 or 15. We'll just have to wait and see what they decide. I know they're working on it, so it's not like they have a solid answer yet. As soon as I hear something, I can shoot you a text message or something to let you know that, yeah, they, no worries, Ray, thanks. To let you know that they've made some changes to their decision on what they're going to offer for it. Now, remember, the points for the healthcare, they're non-qualifying points. They will not keep you active. You must still buy your autosaver or enroll people.
Okay.
They're not qualifying active points. They're only commission points.
Yeah. Well, for myself, I want to stick with the autosaver. So
yeah,
build. So
does our Zoom user have any questions?
No, I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right.
Okay, so if there are not any more questions, Dan, I don't have any more questions. You've answered a lot for us, Ben. We appreciate you. We appreciate what you did last week. We learned a lot last week. I do want to make sure that Dan really is getting everything he wants, so I want to keep that channel open between you and him.
Absolutely.
I really don't have anything else left. Ray is the insurance guy, so he wanted those questions answered. I'm going to do some looking on the site, and I'm going to go through the link as you mentioned, even if I do some calling, whatever the case may be. But I think everything for me is answered.
If Ray does a side-by-side Excel spreadsheet or some kind of a document comparing this to others, I'd love to see what he sees from the other co-op plans. I am familiar with co-ops. Certain people have access to different co-ops. I was introduced to one a few years back. So that would be one that I could compare it to, but the more we can compare this plan to, the better it's going to position the plan to be a viable option. So if you guys wouldn't mind sharing that back with me, that would be wonderful.
We have no problem with that. We have no problem with doing that. I know Ray wouldn't have any problem doing that. We'd be more than happy to do that. As much as you've done for us, Ben,
Oh, and I wanted to say your flyer looked amazing.
Did it? Okay. All right. And
did a great job with that.
So you can edit that, real easy, send it out and have, for your people. Same thing we do.
Right.
It's tailored.
Yeah, this is the duplication process, right? If we can create one thing and make it available to many people, then we've duplicated a process.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that flyer does that. So.
And the other thing I was telling people, it's like, you have to understand you're Johnny Appleseed, right? You take a business card and you hand it out to somebody, you just planted your first apple tree seed, and you've got to do that for like 3 months in a every day consistently, just building that pipeline of people that are starting to think about gold and silver so that they've got time to get back with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't think you're going to talk to somebody today and sign them up tomorrow.
You use the video Y7K, correct?
Yep.
Alright.
That's one of my first touch points. So you got Y7K, how to earn, the wealth strategy, you got a phone call, you got a voice message, you got a text message, you got an email. So there's 8 touch points right there, right?
Mhm.
You need 7 to make a solid connection.
Okay.
So you gotta just develop your own routine. I'm going to do this first, this second, this third, this fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, 10th, whatever, because then you know how far through the pipeline you have taken an individual. Oh, last thing I did was send them a text message. I guess now it's time to send them an email.
Okay.
You got to hit them on all their platforms. They picked up the phone, you left a message, you texted them, you emailed them, and then you're going to do something else, maybe the 7K Wealth app. You're going to send them a video, just keep hitting them, but hit everybody in the same order so you know what to do next with your prospects, and try to hit them like I kind of do a 1, 2, 3. So I'll call them today, I'll text them tomorrow, I'll send them an email. So that's 1, 2, 3, and then I'll wait a day and send them something else. Then I'll wait 2 days, send them something else. Then I'll wait 3 days, send them something else. And then I'll do the 1, 2, 3 again. And then I'll do the 1, the skip, the 2, the skip, the 3, the skip. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So I don't hit them day after day after day after day for 12 days. I let some gap in there so that they'll think back that, oh yeah, I saw a couple of those messages.
Okay. Okay.
But that's where you get into this ridiculous pile of note cards with what I've done for each person on the back.
Mhm.
Right. So I just make up my own index cards and just keep a stack of people, but those are all of my prospects waiting to hear from me. So I'm never without somebody to communicate with.
Okay.
And pretty soon this stack's going to get huge. Like, these index cards come in these packets, like a packet like that. Well, I'm on my second packet of filling these things out.
Okay.
So, when you get into a lead source, you got that link I sent you, right?
Mhm.
On the leads. Okay. So, you can share that with anybody you want. You click on that lead source and you start getting those leads. And if you share that link, if you get your own link and share it with 3 people, then your lead source is free.
Okay.
All right. So, you let that trickle down through your organization. Now everybody's getting 3 leads a day. I mean, that's how many people I've communicated with in the last 2 to 3 weeks. Just Alpha getting 3 a day.
Okay.
But you have that link. So
Yeah, and I appreciate it too. We're gonna talk about that. I wanted to have this meeting, get everything wrapped up, and as God always has something.
Who knows of all these people in this link? These people have clicked on a ad for a home-based business opportunity within 48 hours.
Mhm.
So all of those people are at a different point in their life. One might be ready to sign up today. Some of these people might sign up in a month. They might sign up in 2 months or 3 months, but in 2 or 3 months, I've got more people to talk to.
Yeah.
And they will have heard from me at least every other day.
Okay. Okay.
So
That's a good system.
I'm a presence in their life.
Yes. That's a good system. That's a good system. Dan, you have anything?
No, nothing more this morning. I'll follow up with some diagrams and maybe some questions for next week, and we can follow from there. Just have to take some time to dig into it a little bit more.
Okay.
Hey, Ben, I got a question for you.
Sure.
I'm curious, I'm having not some issues, but maybe some issues with people who don't see the value. Like, where does a numismatic fall in on a crisis? Like, people are seeing problems with the market, and I've convinced people like gold and silver. I don't see maybe the huge value in the numismatic side of it. Oh yeah, yeah. I definitely want to get into that, but I need to get in some. I haven't been thinking about gold and silver before. I need to get in some coins. So they're working on uh, um, some bullion style, just some random coins and stuff like that. So I've kind of got to move that way, but it's hard to explain. Like I don't feel like maybe a numismatic is the best solution for a crisis. It's definitely a good retirement possibility. I can explain like the differences, like being diverse within silver and gold. So you already have some bullion. Now add some numismatic to it. You have some greater potential for growth in the future. But when the crisis hits and people are thinking that way, they're like, well, how am I going to explain to somebody that this is worth more than this? Like I need this is what I'm really focused in crisis mode right now, thinking about. And then you're trying to get them to buy a numismatic coin. So I don't know what you've had for that, or maybe what your thoughts are.
Okay, so number one, crisis is synonymous with defense. Opportunity is synonymous with offense. All right. So if you're talking to somebody about a crisis, you want to be talking about bullion. That is, dealer direct pricing. You're positioning your wealth to be in a stable physical asset. And, that's the protection mechanism. So don't try to cross the line of explaining something to somebody that's in crisis mode with something that's an offensive strategy. So right off the bat, I would separate those two, and I wouldn't cross that line.
Yeah, I have. I've kind of just have told them that, like, I'm like, it's not the same. They're two different kind of things, but we still want to kind of get in both. But it's really tough when they haven't really been paying attention to silver and gold and haven't stocked up, and that's all they're going to buy right now is just
right.
bullion.
And then just remind them that crises always come to an end at some point. And it's the people that have positioned their wealth to take advantage of a crisis in order to buy something that in the future is going to hold value, right? So in times of crisis, you want to be spending your bullion on picking up some of these fancy coins that in times of plenty, you may not be able to afford. But in times of crisis, somebody's willing to depart with that and you pick it up at a very good value. So I don't know if you're familiar with that particular coin, but that is our Black Panther 2-ounce silver coin.
Yeah.
That originally sold for $4.99 is now listed at $9,800 on Stack and Sell.
Yeah.
Right. So
yeah, I tried to buy the Night Owl, but I didn't get that one.
Yeah, I know that's kind of a nice one too.
Yeah, you're lucky on that. I
picked this up on Stack and Sell.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't get that in the drop.
Yeah, okay. I had it in my box in the drop, but
yep. But here's the deal, right? It's like in times of plenty, you can pick up those things at a good price. Mm-hmm. And in the next dip and then the next time of plenty, you're going to be able to sell that and get your investment out of it.
Yeah.
All right. So the offense definitely, you have to take them down the path of, you're thinking crisis right now from the receiving end, and think of the crisis from the opportunity end. In times of crisis, people are going to sell what they need to make ends meet. Well, if you happen to be, prepared for times of crisis, you're going to be able to afford to buy that coin off of somebody when they're desperate to get rid of it. And they're not going to be charging top dollar when they're desperate to get rid of it.
Yeah, which is part of the reason that he's like, well, I don't want to get into it yet because I'm not prepared. So I'm going to be trying to get rid of it for less than I should be getting rid of it for, and all that. But he's not opposed to getting into it. It's just his timing's not right.
One of our members has a daughter, absolutely was 100% against the collectible coins. And then she was online when her father was doing a coin drop and this coin came up. And she said, I absolutely have to have that. There was no sense, no whatsoever. It was just that it was something that hit an accord with her. And then her dad just sat back and said, do you get it now? And she said, yes, I absolutely get it. When you see a coin that means something to you and you have to have it, all of a sudden you get the coin collecting bug. It's no different than gold fever.
You do.
Think of it like a football game. You can't win a ball game. The crisis is winning the game, but you can't win with just a defensive team. Your defensive team can't play the whole game and expect to win.
And again, you know, the project, we call them projects, right? The series of collectible coins that they're building right now. At some point in time, one of the projects is going to resonate with, you know, the person that's looking at them, and they're going to say, yep, I got to have that set. And they will go after the whole set. And there's 16 of those Mandela coins. So that person, when they're done acquiring that set, they will have 16 coins that have a mintage of, like, I think they're 3,000 each. So what's going to happen to the members that join next year and didn't have access to the 12 coins this year, when they get the 4 remaining coins next year when they become a new member? They're going to be paying top dollar for the coins that were issued this year. So that's why, you know, you kind of get these things and you know, hang on to them. So that's the collectible side, but I get it.
Thanks.
Can you just briefly overview what 7K offers in the way of bullion for the crisis mode customers?
Not much.
Well, I mean, they offer gold and silver at dealer direct pricing, no minimums, right? Every place else you go, you got a minimum amount to get the best price.
And that's true, because there was a gentleman from a company that wanted to sell some coins. There was just really 2.5 ounces of gold, but they wanted $15,000 for it.
2.5 ounces.
2.5 ounces. They were special coins.
Gold coins coated in silver.
They weren't special enough.
Right. Again, when we were uneducated and we didn't know, there was nothing to look at or look for, right? I remember back in high school, I took one of my 1922 Morgans into a coin dealer, and he offered me 300 for one and 500 for another. You know what they go for today? About $32, right? Because the coin dealer back then only had his circle of influence of maybe 1 or 2 towns worth of whether that's a rare coin or not. It used to be rare to him, but when the internet came along, all of a sudden these coins weren't rare anymore.
Okay.
And the value of them dropped.
Okay.
But now with the internet, with more and more people buying, selling, stack and sale and so forth, the value can actually increase if there's some demand for it and interest as well.
Right. And that's what they're building right now with Stack and Sell, is they're building that demand amongst the members right now and a few coin dealers, but wait till the public gets access to Stack and Sell.
Yeah.
The coin collecting public. Now, if we go over to one second. We go over to the American Numismatic Association. It's at money.org. I think we can find, if I can find it real quick, they used to have a number out here that told us how many people were registered to this site. When we talk about public, we're talking about these people that are registered to this site. That's the basis of our audience. Okay, these people do not know about Stack and Sell yet. I can't find it, but if you look on it, it's money.org/FAQ. It's in there somewhere. I
Slash
found,
what?
huh?
Slash what?
Just the FAQ.
Oh, okay.
And see if you can't find in there somewhere about how many members they have subscribed.
Okay.
Maybe it was here. I'm on the subscription page. It's not. So anyway, you know, there's probably 500,000 to 1 million people subscribed to this site. And those are the people that were ramping up to advertise Stack and Sell to. So if 7K, let's just throw a random number out. 7K has 100,000 members that we're competing on Stack and Sell with to buy and sell. Imagine when 1 million people have access to it. Coins will not sit on there very long at all.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to see something they like and they're going to take it for the price that it's being offered for.
Yeah, that's huge.
So then in times of crisis, that increases the amount of people that have liquidable assets to purchase your collectible. And a lot of people wait for those crisis times to make their purchases because that's when they get the best deal.
Mhm.
People got to eat, right?
Absolutely. Nobody wants to miss biscuits.
So hopefully that gives you some weight to the strategies that I talk about. It's not just me talking. It's like I can take you to sites where, you know, there's real numbers there.
Mhm.
I mean, that is the Numismatic Association of, you know, all of America. So imagine having access to all the coin collectors in America, no matter where they're at. I took a couple of these coins, you know, at the time they were the Roman coins, to a little coin dealer in New Jersey at a place that I used to go when I was a kid. And he didn't care anything about the gold and silver. But when I showed him the collectibles and he went online to see if he could find them and he couldn't find them, his eyes lit up. It's like, imagine having coins that nobody can assess. You can charge whatever you want for that because they can't verify the price.
Yeah.
Right?
That's
I mean, and it's a weekend, you're at a coin dealer shop at a flea mart. It's like, you don't know if they're even going to be there next week. Are you going to make that decision? Are you going to make an irrational decision on whether you're going to buy that coin right now or not? Yes, you are. Because it's something you've never seen before.
Yeah. Wow.
And if you can scan that barcode right there and authenticate that coin on the spot, you bet you can name your price.
Wow.
Because the customer can authenticate the coin. Does this serial number, is it registered with NGC? The answer is yes, and I can prove it. The label's on the back and the serial number verifies this coin specifically.
Wow.
Have you ever sent a coin to NGC for your own grading and evaluation?
Not yet. It's $10 to ship, $35 to have it graded, $10 to have it shipped back. And you got to be pretty sure that you're going to get your money's worth out of that process to be shipping coins in.
Is that a pretty safe process, or do I just go online to NGC?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Don't worry about it. I mean, Miles Standish was the vice president of NGC. He is now working for us.
So he's not with NGC anymore. Okay. I knew he was going to start working there, and he's a nice guy. Miles is a nice guy. That's a nice man. You know,
He said they even hired more people because the number of coins they have to grade are going through the roof.
really?
So, yeah, just mostly because of 7K and some other companies, but you know, the public sending stuff in, you'll be waiting a little while. I mean, not ridiculous, but
Yeah.
you know,
But
they're
they're busy. They're busy.
busy.
That's the thing. Wow. Okay. I didn't know Miles had started. So what is Miles doing for 7K?
Designing projects.
The
Okay.
chief design officer, huh?
That's the man.
Man,
That's the man. They got the right man. Yeah, and he's got the reputation to follow him and everything.
absolutely.
Yep. He's put his signature on there. And if that man, if something ever happens to him,
Right?
he's going through the roof. Yeah. Okay. That's a good move.
I think so too.
All
All right, gentlemen.
right, Ben, we want to thank you for your time. We really appreciate you. I can't say enough. I can't say enough.
Yeah,
Guys,
thanks, man.
have any other questions? I mean,
Yeah. You
okay.
guys
Oh,
are
that was great.
you guys are going to do great. You know, you got these videos now to look back on. You can get some words out of them, and you develop. My suggestion: develop your sales pitch. You want to have two: one for the gold and silver, one for the healthcare. You're going to want to have your own marketing sites that have your links on them. I showed you how to get the links out of the back office. And you're going to want to have your pipeline process. This is what I do first. I try to make a phone call. This is what I do second. I send them a text. Third, fourth, fifth, design your pipeline to your comfort level, and don't waver on that process.
Okay.
And then look, go buy a lead list. Get those 3 leads a day from Steven. Start working them, and don't worry if you mess up, because you got 3 more coming tomorrow that you're going to get a little better at it. Okay. If you get 3 leads a day and you get a little better at it every day, pretty soon you might close one of those 3 each day. And if you close one of the 15 that week, think about that rate. You're doing great. Most leads are 1 or 2 out of 100. So you know you're doing good if you can close 1 a week out of 15. And these leads just keep coming. They don't stop. That's somebody that clicked on an ad in a Google banner, went to a page and said, I'm interested in a home-based business, and put their name, email, and phone number into it and hit submit. All right. That's how recent these leads are. 24 to 48 hours old. So when you get them, make that phone call immediately, because you want to be the first one to it, because we don't know how many times these leads are being handed out. They're not exclusive. So it's a matter of who gets to them first. Now, don't worry about it if you're not the first person. Somebody else might have tried to sell them lipstick or healthcare or, you know, some kind of health aid, and you're coming at them with gold and silver. You may be the right product for the right person.
Yeah.
All right. So don't even give that multiple contacts a second thought. Most people are hit 5 to 7 times by different people when they create a lead like that, when they become a prospect, because that's the business the other people are in, selling leads. And they know that everybody's in a different industry.
That's true.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right. Okay, Ben. Thank
All
you.
right. I'm going to jump off here. You guys have a wonderful day.
Yeah, thank you, Ben. You too.
All right. Bye-bye.